Well, good evening again. My name is Sydial. I'm in the UK here, and this is In Review, which we come on every Thursday night, every Saturday night. I got Talk and Sip. And of course, I've got these ad hoc shows, which for the dialogue that matters for my podcast. And I try to bring forth different discussion on my Thursday night, because I've been doing this for years. Started the show in 2015. As a matter of fact, March will be the anniversary, March 24th, of the Sylbourne show. Uh, Interest rate cuts and why immigration is the topic today. Interest rate cuts. And please, I like to encourage you to like and to share the video, share it with your friends, share it with your foes, and share it with as much as possible you can. Remember to like and subscribe. That would be great, and that would be fantastic. Those on Facebook, those on Instagram. The most important thing, though, is to come over onto the YouTube. Come over onto the YouTube channel, which is Sylbourne TV, and whereby we take it from there. And if you find the topics very interesting, that's great. That's good kudos. You can say that. And if you believe that there are some other topics that need to be discussed, you please say that as well. Much appreciated, because this is my show, your show, all our show. You know what I'm saying? The first thing I want to talk about is interest rate cuts. And I keep following this from, post-COVID, pre-COVID. You're seeing so many different interest rates went up, and a lot of people were affected by the interest rates. A lot of people were affected by the interest rate, and now what we're having is a situation now whereby Andrew Bailey, Bank of England governor, what he's done, it has moved from 4.75 to 4.5. Right? Bank of England has half its growth focus for this year, as it's cut interest rate to the lowest level for more than 18 months. The economy is now expected to grow by 0.75% in 2025, and the bank said down from its previous estimate of 1.5%. The government has made growing the economy one of its key aims. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer told the BBC he was not satisfied with growth, and the downgraded forecast, just spurs us on. And the new focus came as the bank cut interest rate to 4.5% from 4.75%. Governor Andrew Bailey said the rates remain on a downward path. I wonder how far it will go. And if we just listen to Mr. Bailey for a few minutes, I think I'm going to see if I can actually hear what he has to say. Bank of England Governor, Mr. Andrew Bailey. There he is. And this is what he says. Okay, so that's Mr. Andrew Bailey setting out the whole aspect of the interest rates fall. And Mr. Bailey said the bank expected to be able to cut rates further, but we'll have to judge meeting by meeting or far or fast. Now, what's your take on that in regards to how does it affect you? The mortgage impact, because a lot of mortgages went up when interest rates went up, and some have come down now. I wonder sometime how quick that the banks really cut their rates at the same time, and a lot of people went into fixed things, and I wonder those persons who went to fixed rate interest, what are they saying now if it is much below? The interest rate cut means that for the 629,000 homeowners on mortgage tracker deals that move in line with the base rate, they will typically be at £29 fall in monthly repayments. The near 700 people on standard variable rate mortgage will have to wait to see if their lender responds. Those on a fixed mortgage deal will see no immediate change, but there might be cheaper deals available for new and renewing customers. Well, I say, however, the rate cut is likely to lead to lower returns for savers. And they use an example of a lady who said that they've still got 80 months remaining on their current mortgage deal and welcome lower interest rate, as it means they will pay less interest on their next mortgage if rate remains low. And so this is welcome news, I must say, for mortgage holders. May not be welcome news for those who are savers, and for persons who are borrowing, get lower interest rate. And I want to see how that picks up with the economy as we go. And of course, the government is doing their best. One has been hearing that the Rachel Reeves, they're talking about the possibility of a reshuffle. But sometimes that is just really fake news or alternative facts at the same time. So as we can see, it was from January 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26. So the interest rate went up, and you see it's going down now as well. So kudos to the government, kudos to the Bank of England governor, because what they say is a separation at the same time with the Bank of Interest, the Bank of England governor. I must say that Mr. Bailey looked a bit slimmer. He looks a bit slimmer in the video and the picture that I saw there and the video. He looks a bit slimmer. I don't think I can call him the big belly man anymore. We just deem him as the big belly man, the man with the interest rate. And I hope that when they have surplus in the society or in Britain because of money will be in people's pocket, that £29, that is money is going to go into people's pocket, if anything like that. And therefore, if money start growing circulation, they're not going to say that, wow, we got to cut this spending bit because it is affecting interest rate or so on. Interest rate goes up. So let's hope that it is managed properly, and we can all capitalize on that. And that's what I'll say about that, and that's good news. I hope you think that is good news as well. But that's the first thing I want to talk about in regards to the interest rate. The second thing that I wanted to look at, and this is a very interesting one, is about the Grenfell Tower. The Grenfell Tower. The Grenfell Tower, if you people remember that story, and I went down there when over 72 people passed away when there was this massive fire. We all remember the night. There's always the same. There are certain things that people will know. Where were you? Where were you on the night of Grenfell Tower? Where were you on the night of when you heard that Princess Diana passed away? Where were you in Kennedy? That is, of course, if you were born that time. But I do remember clearly where I was when Grenfell Tower was happening. And I do clearly remember where I was when Princess Diana passed away. Grenfell Tower, what they're saying, is set to be demolished years after the tragedy which claimed the lives of 72 people. Bereaved families from the Grenfell fire understand that they have been told the tower block will be demolished. Apparently, there are some safety issues there. So bereaved families of the Grenfell fire are understood to have been told. And, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, who is also Housing Secretary, met with relatives and survivors on Wednesday evening. She said, spokesperson for Grenfell Next of Kin, group representing some, said Ms. Rayner had announced a decision that the tower will have to be carefully deconstructed. Grenfell United, which represents some of the survivors and bereaved, said, we have said this to every Secretary of State for Housing since the very beginning. Consult the bereaved and survivors meaningful before reaching a decision on the tower. She claimed that she actually had a discussion and there being a consultation period. But according to what they say, she could not give a reason for a decision to demolish the tower. And she refused to confirm how many bereaved and survivors had been spoken to the recent short 4-week consultation. They always say with consultation is as long as you have some dialogue with different persons. When they're trying to demolish places or do new things, they just make sure that they have some level of consultation. The the Grenfell bit was really sad part of history, I must say, in the UK. And while at the same time you because the building is just 10 feet, 10 stories high up there, it is somewhat dangerous in a sense. And as a result of that, they have to take it down, I think, based on safety matters or so. So I don't know what your views on that, and let me hear your views in regards to the Grenfell Tower, which will be coming down. Now, immigration, immigration has been a very hot topic all over the recent elections. They said the Conservatives failed in regards to their immigration policy. They said also that the Labour Party failed in regards to their immigration policy. In America, Trump won based on his promise, based on his immigration policy. Reform, using the immigration bit as their beating stick, where they're hitting the Conservative with. Sometimes you wonder if the Conservative is actually playing up to reform. As an immigrant in the UK, and came here in 1992, one has got to give respect to immigrants. And a lot of persons at the same time who are in power or so benefited from immigration. But I want to play the new policy of the Conservative Party, because Kemi Badenoch, who is the leader, what she has said is that she's going to be holding off setting out policies until she gets an understanding and let the people know that the Conservatives failed, and as a result, she wants to turn over a new leaf and to let the people know. So I'm going to see if I can find. I hope I can find it. I hope I can find it. The immigration bit with Miss Kemi Badenoch. Yeah. Plan to fix. Yes. Britain is our home. And I want you to listen to it. I want you to let me hear your views as well in regards to that. I'm going to play it in the next moment. And that's Miss Kemi Badenoch. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I was just informed that there's no sound. I was just informed that there's no sound. Michelle, I just really hope that it is not your thing playing up. But I'm gonna just listen a bit here to see if I can hear any sound and try to play it again. And I just really hope that it is not your. But I'm gonna just let me just ask if anyone else, if you can hear the sound, can you hear the sound, the sound audio, you can hear me, but you weren't hearing Kemi Badenoch or so. I'm gonna replay this and to see if we can hear any sound. Wayne Ferran, let me know if you hear any sound. Root Brown, let me know if you hear any sound. as well. So I'm going to play this again, play this video, which came a bit enough talking about the new policies in regards to immigration. Here we go. Okay. Can I just ask if you were can I just ask if you're hearing that? Let me know if you're hearing that. Michelle, let me know if you can hear that. And now what I'm going to do now is to share the video. Were you hearing it? Who can hear it? Bum, ba-dum, bum. Let me know if you can hear. Now I'll play it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you're not hearing anything, Michelle. That's all you're saying. Boy. Can I say? Okay. Not hearing anything. Can you hear me then? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let me see. Ta-da. What's going on here?
Crypto is simpler than you think.
Can you hear me?
Crypto
1, 2, 3.
is simpler than you think.
Okay. Okay, you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Well, let me just read what the new policy is. Then I read what the new policy is. Then it's that it says, I believe these changes are necessary to ensure that we bring immigration down. And what you share, I want to update you with about an important policy change that the party is making on immigration. Back in November, she sets out the first step of the plan on immigration that included an acknowledgement that numbers were far too high. And when they returned government, that we would introduce a numerical cap on those coming here. Today, following extensive work, I'm setting out the next plan. The right to remain in the UK is often seen as an automatic entitlement. It has become a conveyor bell to citizenship when it should be a privilege that is earned through commitment and contribution to our country. I've always said that our country is not a dormitory or a hotel, it is our home. This is the opposition leader. I'm reading her message here. And next week, Labour is bringing in an immigration and borders bill that actually makes it easier for illegal immigrants to gain citizenship. We need to see change. And what she said, not in 5 years, but now. So here are the key changes we are proposing. Newcomers should wait 10 years instead of 5 before they can apply to stay indefinitely under the indefinite leave to remain ILR scheme. After that, it should take 5 years, not just 12 months, to apply for British citizenship. Those who have claimed benefits or housing while on a work visa should not be allowed to stay indefinitely. We believe that everyone who comes here should contribute more than they take out. Applicants must not have a criminal record. Okay? And so these are changes being pushed in Parliament. Immigration has been far too high, very long. And for several decades, all parties have not delivered reductions in immigration. This country has voted for time and time again. So therefore, that is the stage. I'm going to see if I can actually, play the video again, and just let me know if you can hear. Michelle, we just do a quick test here and see what happened. Kemi's plan to fix immigration. And here we go. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, that's it. We're not hearing it. Not hearing it. Not hearing it at all. Michelle, not hearing it at all. Don't know what happened there. Can't explain it. Technical issue. No sound now. Whatever you did before. What I did before was last week. So yeah. So that is the so a lot of people are, I believe, is going to be a bit distraught by this new sort of policy, especially when it talks about the key changes. Newcomers should wait 10 years instead of 5 years before they can apply for to stay indefinitely under the indefinite leave to remain. And after that, it should take 5 years, not just 12 months. So therefore, normally, when somebody have an indefinite leave to remain, they can apply within 12 months, after 12 months, and they go for their visa, British citizenship. That's going to be 5 years. Now, what is the purpose of this? And I don't know what people think about this really at this time, because there's this massive immigration aura or fiasco or whatever which is happening around the world. When they checked out the immigration and what really made it so high in the UK, it wasn't about people. It was people legally in the system. But I think they are not so happy that persons who are legitimate, people came over here with their families. I mean, after they get their work visas and they become nurse or doctors or teachers or so, they bring in their families, you know, right to family life, Article 8. But that seemed not to be something which is very attractive or looking very well to the government. Now, reform with Nigel Farage pushes the whole immigration thing. And of course, with America piggybacking off the sort of immigration. So therefore, it is somewhat demonizing immigrants in a way. But at the same time, it is more looking at the illegal form of things. But, you know, during the course of when, you know, things weren't so very harsh, if someone was over here, maybe illegally, I think for 13 years or so, they could apply to legitimize themselves. And there's normally some sort of amnesty to try to legitimize themselves. You know, I just don't believe that one can actually will be able to successfully shut down borders of country. People are just going to be moving all over the place now, and want us to see how they can actually accommodate. But I do agree that the level of you know, if someone is illegal or so, and you need to understand who they are and what they're about. So that's very concerning. But I watch to see how it outwork, how it outpans. With this one, will it be to the success of Kemi Badenoch, or will it could be to the detriment of Kemi Badenoch as she goes to the dispatch box weekly with the Prime Minister Punch and Judy talking about that. I mean, I was brought to the attention of this by a friend, and a lady was talking about it, and I said, nah, that doesn't seem to be right, because the Conservative Party do not have their policy format in place yet, because what the opposition leader said, what you want to focus on is to see how much they can actually, you know, get to understand what is happening, letting the people of the UK know that they're sorry. But then I realized that it's actually formalizing into a policy thing. What's your views on that? It'd be great to hear your views in regards to this new policy direction. How will it affect you? How will it affect your family? You know, and I mean, in America now, if we skip over onto Trump, you're seeing what is happening. You know, guy was posting a video the other day. I don't know if it was fake. And it was saying New York is all quiet. You know, nobody's there as much people as before, because everybody's running away from ICE. You know, so this immigrants. A lot of us are here. Well, Kemi is an immigrant as well. You know, so ladies and gentlemen, so that's a very interesting thing in regards to whole aspect of immigration and immigrants. Is immigrants a dirty word or so? Because when you look in the hospital, and I recently had my cataract operation on my eye. When you went to St. Thomas Hospital, the majority of persons who are there were all immigrants. I don't think I've ever seen a doctor for the years that I've been here being a citizen, sorry, a white person. Doctors always Asian or black or so. So we got to really think as to what we're doing at this time. We got to really think, and that is something as you know, which is very careful about. Now, I want to jump over onto Trump now. You know, Netanyahu met U.S. lawmakers as Trump set to sanction International Criminal Court. You know, this thing about Gaza. Well, one thing about Gaza at present is that in Gaza, at Gaza, it is, as someone says, inhabitable. It is uninhabitable, right? It needs refixing. It needs tidying up. Well, not even tidying up. It needs like a total reconstruction. Trump said that, hey, I'm going to, take care of Gaza. I'm going to try to fix it or so like that. Is it that he's shooting from the hip again? where's Trump coming from with this regarding this Gaza thing? I think sometimes Donald Trump, what he tends to do, he shoots from the hip to here. It's like when they had this poll tax in the UK, the poll tax in the UK, which is now the council tax. And before I was here, Margaret Thatcher and they were getting this poll tax in. People raised and people got upset and people got angry and it became the council tax. So it is like that was set as a sort of bait to get people riled up. So when you think about what's happening now, hey Bibsy Boo, when you think about what's happening now regarding the whole thing in regards to Gaza, USAID, Mexico, Canada, Panama, there's so many moving parts. Somebody was saying that they're planning to go somewhere from the States, but they said, listen, they don't want to leave because next thing they leave, and they can't get back in. You know, Trump have land over there. That's what it's about. Where land over where? Land in the UK or land where in Gaza? Has he got land in Gaza? So this whole thing about Gaza, is it that Netanyahu and Trump sort of planned this whole thing out, and they plan it out in a way whereby if they go in and sort out Gaza in a sense, they look for all these different tunnels, clear up the place as much as possible, weed it up and clean it out. When everybody's coming out against international, the UN and everyone is saying, you know, this should not happen. You know? What do you think about that? That's going to be very interesting as it unfolds. Trump have land in Gaza. Well, you saying Trump play golf in Gaza as well? I don't know if Trump plays golf in Gaza, but it's a very interesting development over there. And then with this whole Elon Musk with the USAID, cutting away all of these different aid, and the Democrats are going crazy. But what they're now pointing out, and sometimes you got to ensure that you monitor these, whether it is fake news or what, they're pointing out all these different money which is being paid out by USAID, you know, and what they're saying, after days of speculation over the precise role of the world's richest man would play in Donald Trump White House, how much power he would hold, whether he is a government employee at all. He took the social media platform he owns to clarify. And what he says, my preferred title role is just tech support, Elon Musk wrote on X on Tuesday. It was a knowing understatement because everyone is unhappy. I don't know what you think or what your thoughts in regards to Elon Musk in that position there. Some are saying that two bullets in a pen can't rain. And one is saying that Donald Trump and Elon Musk will one day have some fist fight, maybe literally or figuratively. And that is what is unfolding. So therefore, a lot of persons, I mean, even the whole thing regarding the whatever that he did the other day, that's water off back. I mean, you know, you look at it and you wonder and say, did he really mean it? Did he do that? But I'm looking at the hands right here now. You can see that it had a curve and the hand at a curve at the same time, you know. So yeah, so that's interesting as to the developments which is happening in America regarding this whole Trump factor. But as I say, and this is what I say all the while, and I have no apologies by saying that, what is happening in America is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for persons around the world, persons who were former colonized, persons who were in a country through slave masters, to see how one can develop, you know, develop yourself, develop your country, you know, look inward and not just outward. You know, look inward and not just outward. Look to see how, if you're from Jamaica, if you realize that you're not going to get any more USAID and that money gone down the drain, don't cry. We might cry initially, but see how one can actually close the gap in Africa, in different countries. Because what Donald Trump is saying and what he's actually doing, based on what I'm seeing, and based on what many people are saying, he's actually saying, hang on a second, that money don't make no sense. Where is that money going? Where's that money going? Where is that money going? Why are you spending that money there? It's got to show some sort of correlation in regards to this. So therefore, it is so important, very important, and I cannot stop saying this, that nations need to look at the fallout, and based on the fallout, look to see how you can actually develop the areas where the gap, just like when you go on the train and it says, mind the gap, look for the gap and try to close the gap. That's the key and most important thing, because as far as we've seen, America doesn't seem to be that attractive place anymore. You know, and that's a reality. I mean, there's some war in the States now, and they're just saying, listen, man, just I go through my business and I go on do what I do, you know what I mean? But anyway, as I said, Donald Trump, he shocked the world, suggesting that the U.S. could take over and own Gaza, resettling its population in the process. I wonder what the Gazians feel, what the Palestinians feel about that. He repeated the elements of the proposal on social media, saying Gaza would be turned over to the U.S. by Israel under his plan. Gaza will be turned over to the U.S. But hang on a second, you know, one say that you are not in support of spending so much money out, and yet at the same time you are ready to take over another man's country. Is it? You know, that's very interesting, man. Yeah, Garry is actually saying hi. Hello, there it is. But the proposal continues to draw condemnation. It is drawing condemnation, including from across the Middle East, close U.S. allies, United Nations. Some analysts have raised fears that Trump's comment could destabilize the ongoing ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. Well, what can I say there? As I said, it's very important that one actually look to see how one can actually develop themselves in their country, you know, and don't wait for handout from the great United States of America. Let me see Garry here. How are you, Garry? Are you good, man?
Yes, my brother. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was occupied elsewhere.
Oh, Trump! Yeah, I know you're on the phone with Trump. If anything like that, you know, Michelle.
Well, I'm trying to bring Trump and Starmer together.
Are you trying to get them together?
Well, I'm trying to separate them. I don't know who's that was short, but somebody's stronger than the other one.
Well, it seemed like from a policy perspective, the government of the UK is opposed to Trump's idea of taking over Gaza. Well,
I mean, what? I've tried to really find the reasoning for that. I mean, probably I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you think or what others believe. I don't know if that's a good idea or if it's an idea that can be it can be worked on, because instead of the United States, because I'm sure that the United States would be having to donate money towards that. But instead of the United States donating money, why don't they just go in and just redo the whole place? I mean, it's going to take quite a number of years before Gaza returns to any kind of normality anyway.
Yes. And what someone said, I believe it was the press secretary for the White House, and she said, when you look at it, Gaza is not habitable. It is inhabitable at present. So where people are going, where are they going to go? You know, it's going to be a real massive slum. I was thinking that if Donald Trump, is he saying that with the support of Middle East players, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all of them come together, because he said that he's not going to be using taxpayers' money of the United States, which I don't think that's going to be possible without using taxpayers' money, and and to build Gaza into this riviera in that area in the Middle East. I see that as something would be great, but the people will have to go back there. And I think at the same time, this is what I think they're thinking is, let us go into Gaza, let us fix it up. But what they really want to do is airtight and seal up all those tunnels.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, if Trump and the United States were going to go in there and do anything on that piece of property land from the north to the south of Gaza there, it would give them the opportunity to completely search and explore that piece of land. It's just a matter of Hamas. How much? You see, how many of those of the Palestinians would they have to move out? I mean, they would have to move off that property. And if Trump had anything to do with it, everybody, every living thing in Gaza would have to leave that land. And Hamas will put up a fight, but then that would give the Americans and the Israelis the opportunity to clear out that land of terrorists, and that's going to take a job.
Because what they're saying is that it will destabilize the peace treaty, or the peace treaty which they have at present. You know, somebody say you want to build a Trump casino and some hotels over there. You want to build a Trump casino.
Well, I mean, Trump has this. Remember that Trump has said he's the man to make the deal. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah. Before you came in, Garry, and I don't know if you saw the recent proposal by the Conservative Party where Kemi is setting out the new policies regarding persons who want to what should I say, indefinite leave, and also their British citizenship taking 10 years instead of 5 years and 12 months and so like that. Have you heard of that?
No. I mean, what is it she's saying?
What she said, I'll just read a bit of it, because we're trying to play it, but somehow it wasn't playing. I don't know what happened there. I think Michelle jinxed it. I don't know if Michelle didn't jinx it.
Hi, Michelle.
The right to remain in the UK is often seen as an automatic entitlement. It has become a conveyor belt to citizenship, when it should be a privilege that is earned through commitment and contribution to our country. I've always said that our country is not a dormitory or a hotel, it is our home. So what you said, next week, Labour is bringing in an immigration and borders bill that actually makes it easier for illegal immigrants to gain citizenship. And she said, we need change. So not in 5 years now. So what she's proposing is newcomers should wait 10 years instead of 5 before they can apply to stay indefinitely under the indefinite leave remain scheme. After that, it should take 5 years, not just 12 months, to apply for British citizenship. Those who have claimed benefits or housing while on a work visa should not be allowed to stay indefinitely, Garry. We believe that everyone who comes here should contribute more than they take out, and applicants must not have a criminal record. What's your take on that?
What's the present requirements is what? Is that 14? How many years they have to be here before?
No, it said newcomers should wait 10 years instead of 5. It's 5 years before you can apply to stay indefinitely under the indefinite leave to remain scheme. Number 5 years, but they said to make it for 10 years. And then after you do that period of time, when you got the ILR, which is the indefinite leave to remain, it will take 5 years, not just 12 months. So after you get the indefinite leave to remain, after 12 months, you can apply for a British citizenship. But what they're proposing is not for 12 months, but instead for 5 years. So therefore, if somebody is now saying and getting ready and say, okay, I'm going to get my indefinite leave, and they are now ready. That's going to push for 12. Is going to push for 5 years instead of 12.
I don't know. I mean, well, I suppose it depends on individual circumstances. I mean, um, why was I thinking that it has to be after 14 years before somebody can apply for citizenship or whatever?
That was when people were illegal years ago. There was a bit whereby if persons were illegal and they can throw a continuous period, they can apply. At one point it was 13 years ago. When I came, it was about 13 to 14 years. One can apply under the concession. There's a concession rule. So, but a lot of things have changed since. If somebody is here legally, illegally, legal was 10 years, and I believe illegally was 13 years or so. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a policy there which has been unfolded, and I believe that with the impact of reform which is there, I believe that is where it is sort of kicking the parties to shape up, because if what Labour is putting out, I believe Labour would oppose it, because Labour has over 400 MPs, compared to 121. So, but what I sense is the reform factor there, playing into the reform with Nigel Farage, and say, oh, there they are, But it just dawned on me, and I was saying, this whole thing about immigrants in America, immigrants in the UK, immigrants is like a pawn in the hand, when the greatest immigration system which started was totally illegal but deemed to be legal, which was slavery. That was forced immigration, forced migration. That was clearly it was legal, mean to say that slavery was legal at that point. I'm trying to say that's what I meant when I say it was legal, but that was a forced massive immigration, and now the boat people are coming over, and years ago those boat people were welcome, massive big boats into the West. So there's got to be some really serious thinking in regards to how one look at immigration and immigrants at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, the if I can use the analogy here, that the policies that has come over the years in regards to addressing immigration and all the other areas for that, it's just plaster they've been using,
Yeah.
I don't know if the politicians really have the mind or the intention of really addressing the immigration thing. I mean, every 4 or 5 years, are you telling me that every 4 to 5 years, when there's a general election, and it's either the same party wins it or they change hands, that each government is going to be having to find solutions for immigration that has been around for the past how many years now, and they still can't find it. I don't think that appetite is there to address an immigration problem. So it's going to be there forever and a day.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I want to play this Prime Minister's question time this week, but I'll only play it if it works. So Michelle, let me know, give me a thumbs up or say yes if you can hear. As a matter of fact, Gary, let me know if you can hear as well.
Okay.
And that's the only way I'll keep it on, because I believe there's some hiccup where it wasn't coming. So here we go. Garry, can you hear?
No, I don't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything?
No, and your volume is up?
Yes, it is
Can
totally.
you hear it?
I can hear, of course it's from my side I can hear.
So when you share it, are there any tabs at all that you need to tick off
Let me just
on
try
your
something.
share screen?
I'm gonna try something else in the meantime and remove this. Michelle, did you hear anything? Let me know if you hear anything. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try again from this different angle because it did work last week and it's been working generally. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm not playing anything yet. I'm just waiting for this person here. Okay.
Okay, I hear that now.
Mr. Speaker, when Labour negotiates.
Did you say you can hear?
I heard that too.
Leader of the opposition.
Okay, right. I think I know. I think I know what the situation is then. Okay, let me play this then. Okay. Let me go back. Okay.
Can we bear or not?
Thumbs up if you can hear.
Mr. Speaker, when Labour negotiates, our country loses. Yesterday, we heard the government offered £18 billion for Mauritius
Garry, can you hear?
to take our territory in the Chagos Islands.
Garry?
This is money that belongs to our children and their children. This is an immoral surrender, so North London lawyers can boast at their dinner parties. Mr. Speaker, when Labour negotiates, we all lose. Sometimes they don't even bother. Why did the Energy Secretary withdraw government lawyers from defending the case against the eco-nutters who want to obstruct Rosebank's oil and gas fields?
Mr. Speaker, let me deal with the serious issue she raises in relation to the Chagos case. This is a military base that is vital to our national security and to national security. A number of years ago, the legal certainty of that base was thrown into doubt. And let me, Mr. Speaker, let me be clear, and I'll pick my words carefully. Without legal certainty, the base cannot operate in practical terms as it should. That is bad for our national security, and it's a gift to our adversaries. Now, some within the party opposite know exactly what I'm talking about. That is what...
Garry, can you hear? Garry, can you hear?
I can hear, man. Run it.
You're hearing. Okay.
Right, Mr. Speaker, that is why the last government started negotiations about sovereignty and about securing the long-term use of the base. Mr. Speaker, they were right to do so. That's why the last government conducted 11 of the 13 rounds of those negotiations. And Mr. Speaker, they were right to do so. That is why this government has completed that process, and we were right to do so. Mr. Speaker, I will set out the details when they're finalised, and it will, of course, be presented to Parliament. But if the Leader of the Opposition is properly briefed on the national security implications when she's asking these questions, which she's perfectly entitled to do, then she knows exactly what I'm talking about in terms of national security and legal certainty. If, on the other hand, she's not properly briefed on the national security implications, she's not doing her job, she's not concerned about national security, and she's not fit to be Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, how can anyone believe that this man is defending UK interests when he bends the knee to anyone who asks him? His answer was so weak and so waffly, it is no wonder he needs a voice coach. But he didn't answer the question I asked him. why the energy sector.
Garry, do you know about this voice coach issue?
Yeah,
You know what this is about?
Yeah, I know it.
Do you think she's actually taking a leaf out of his book by hitting him?
I think she's learning from him. Really.
Huh?
She's learning from him.
She's learning from him because that's what he's been doing to her each week. So she actually going for him at the same time. Okay, let's go.
Secretary was not defending our country. The Energy and Environment Secretaries received nearly £400,000 worth of donations from Lisbeth Rousing. It's her money behind the court case that will stop an £8 billion investment, threaten thousands of jobs, and endanger energy security for all of us. Did the Energy Secretary refuse to defend UK interests because he's funded by billionaire eco-zealots?
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'll come to that very issue, but I noticed she didn't say she was briefed about the Chagos issue. This is important. Mr. Speaker, when she became leader of the opposition, I said to her that I would give her a briefing on any national security issue if she asked for it. That's very important to the way that we run our democracy. She has not asked for a briefing on the Chagos case. And that's because she's more interested in chasing reform than in national security. In relation to oil and gas, it'll be part of our energy supply for many years to come. We've been absolutely clear about that. But we are going through a transition. It's important because that transition to renewable energy will give us lower bills, energy security, take Putin's foot off our throat, and it's good for the national interest.
Mr. Speaker, this is a weak answer because he doesn't know what is going on. Last week, I asked about the employment bill. He didn't know what was going on. We asked about the education bill. He didn't know what was going on. Let me tell him what is going on. Maybe he can answer some questions. Shell has said a 1-year delay to Rosebank will cost £350 million and the loss of 1,000 jobs. Yep. Equinor has said a 2-year delay to Jackdaw will cost £800 million. Yep. The only benefit I can see is the £400,000 to Labour ministers. Yep. At a time of war in Europe, threatened energy security, increased competition from the US and elsewhere, we should be getting British oil and gas out of the ground. Does the Prime Minister have the guts to take on Labour donors and his Energy Secretary and approve the licence applications when they are resubmitted?
Prime Minister.
Speaker, she doesn't even want to know what's going on, otherwise she'd have asked for the relevant briefing.
Do you notice that he kept alluding to the fact that she's not getting briefed or she's not seeking the briefing? Because one of the things that opposition leaders always say when any prime minister is at the dispatch box, they always say, I thank the prime minister for advance notice or advance, what should I say, sight of his speech or so like that. So there's a sort of gentlemanly, gentlewomanly lady-like arrangement. Do you think when he says that she knows and she's aware of these things, well, what do you think about that? You think she's...
All right.
Yeah. It's just very interesting, that point. He keeps alluding to the fact that she knows, those over that side knows. But anyway, let's listen to Starmer.
She knows the position on Rosebank. She knows the court case that has meant that the licence has got to be reviewed. There's a process that's got to be gone through in the proper way. She understands that, but yet again, she's proving all she can do is student politics and playing party politics.
Mr. Speaker, I am speaking on behalf of the people of this country. When Labour negotiates, our country loses. When Labour negotiates, our country loses. He's talking about bringing growth and investment. Last week, he lost a £450 million investment from AstraZeneca that we negotiated, Mr. Speaker, and which would have delivered growth immediately. That same day, he also lost the £8 billion oil field investment that would have delivered next year. Business is abandoning the North Sea because of his decisions. What signal does he think he is sending to investors?
As she knows, AstraZeneca was a commercial decision. She must understand that. But Mr. Speaker, all she does is come here every week, carping from the sidelines, talking our country down. We've got the highest investment for 19 years. PwC say the second best place to invest in the world. The IMF has upgraded growth. Wages are up. Inflation is down. There's more to do. Reforming planning and regulation, building new homes, supporting a runway, the third runway at Heathrow. What unites these? Championed by Labour, opposed by the Tories.
Mr. Speaker, it's so hard to believe anything he says. This is a man who needed emergency voice coaching on Christmas Eve. This government is so clueless. It is borrowing £8 billion. It is so clueless. It is borrowing £8 billion for GB Energy, a vanity project that is not great, not British, and does not produce any energy. Its own chairman, Mr. Speaker, admitted it will take 20 years to create just 1,000 jobs. Meanwhile, 200,000 jobs are at stake in our oil and gas sector right now. Does he think that 1,000 jobs in 20 years' time are worth more than the 200,000 jobs we have now?
Prime Minister.
Again, she clearly hasn't been briefed or doesn't want to be briefed. GB Energy, a publicly owned energy company that will drive the move to...
See, it goes back to that point about she's not getting brief or she's not reading her brief. You know, we kept alluding to that each time. She's not reading her brief.
Yeah. I mean, even the security briefing that he mentioned sometime before. I mean, one of them should be said. She shouldn't have to ask for these things. The leader of the opposition shouldn't ask for these things. They should automatically get these things. So I don't know why he seems to be just fudging the idea or the question every time.
I also think that nothing is wrong if she's asking. It's like he's saying, you don't have to ask me that question. You know already. You know, he's trying to allude to it. You don't need to, like I say, I know. We don't need to know. We don't need to tell everybody else. It's like some sort of secret thing between him and the opposition leader. But what she's actually trying to do is to bring a level of transparency and for the Prime Minister to own up and to answer. Let's listen to Starmer.
Renewables. That is not about the number of jobs in HQ. It's about the thousands upon thousands of jobs that will generate to give us energy security, something we didn't have under the last government, take Putin's boot off our throat, something we didn't have under the last government. They lost control of the economy. We're getting it back.
He can waffle as long as he likes, Mr. Speaker. But we know that Labour promised to bring energy bills down by £300. Instead, bills are going up. He's freezing pensioners while shoveling money to Mauritius. The Prime Minister isn't just managing decline, Mr. Speaker, he is creating decline. He has the power to grant these licenses, open these oil and gas fields, save British jobs, and bring down bills. Why does he find it so hard to do the right thing?
Right.
Okay. Can you hear me, Garry? Yeah. Okay. So that's Kemi there. So that was Kemi for Prime Minister's question time there. I must say that he's getting very fiery and going at it very hard. I guess she's even picking up some of the tone or so from Starmer. I tend to don't really find that bit about the side bit about the voice coach. So there's a saying, when they go low, we go high. They have to follow Starmer sort of style, if anything. But I guess that was during the COVID period when they were being frivolous at the same time, as well. So that's a bit there. But I do find because we can hear that information, because we can hear Garry, I think I want you to hear the opposition leader talking about the policy, the new. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and I'm gonna play it so you can actually listen to it. And Michelle, let me know if you can hear it this time around, because I think I found out why we weren't able to find it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Ready?
Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. It's time to tell the truth on immigration and propose real plans to do something about it. I want to reduce immigration and make living here actually mean something. We need to change the way our immigration system works. So I'm announcing that the Conservative Party is going to do the following things differently. 1. If you want to stay in our country permanently and apply for indefinite leave to remain, the time you have to live here before you apply will increase from 5 years to 10 years. 2. You will have to be a net contributor with a high enough salary, especially if you want to bring family members with you. And if you've got a criminal record, you're banned. 3. If you've claimed benefits or need social housing, you can't even apply. 4. We will increase the time before you can apply for a British passport from 12 months to 5 years, meaning it will take a minimum of 15 years to start an application. 5. If you enter this country illegally or outstay your visa, you will be banned from ever gaining leave to remain or a passport. These changes, on top of a strict numerical cap on numbers, will constitute the most robust changes ever made to our immigration system. Lower numbers, secure borders, and an immigration system that finally works for the British people. This is another step in our plan to control our immigration system. If you agree, join us and let's get it done.
Okay, so that's a policy there, Gary. That's a policy. I guess this is one of the first policies that Kemi has come out with, because as you know, she has said that she's not really going to be pushing policies as yet, trying to get to understanding with the British public, letting the public know that the Conservative Party has let them down, and to be very truthful. And she wanted to get an idea of the whole thing, because she said there's 4 years time before our next election. I don't want to just jump into policy, but this seemed to be one of the first policies which has been set out and carved, and it seemed to be very clear. You know, a lot of people are not going to be happy about it. A lot of people are going to say at the same time that she benefited from the previous immigration policies. You know, when her parents came here, you know, people say that as well. So that's a bit there. Any view?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening when in the PMQs there, when I mean, Kemi is right when she says more or less that, I mean, Starmer's no idiot, but at the same time, what he's doing, he is showing himself to be one, because whatever the government says, it affects the decisions of business. You know, it affects what businesses do, and because what was the reason again why AstraZeneca pulled out? There's a reason because of what the government did. You know, either what he said or what they did. You know, multinationals will make a decision based on what governments do. Yeah. So and Starmer is not. You see, I think he's just trying to save face. Really, he's protecting himself. And he's protecting the government that he has, and that's why he's not really answering and hitting the questions head on that Kemi is doing, you know.
In regards to the policies, I see someone here on Facebook saying racist immigration policy. Racist immigration policy. Is that policy racist?
I mean,
Come up
what are they calling the policy? What Kemi is proposing, or what the Labour?
No. They're talking. No, I think, Mr. Hyde, if you can confirm, I believe what they're talking about is the immigration. Sama wasn't talking about immigration today. It was only Kemi that touched on immigration. Sama never said anything about immigration in the PMQ. This is regarding the policy by the Conservative racist.
Yeah, I thought about that because Kemi is proposing something. She's British. She was born here, yes?
Yes.
Like so many others. She was born here. And yet she seems to be advocating a policy that is designed, let's say, to keep her out. You know, and she is it that she's privileged? Is she privileged?
Well, one of the things about this is very interesting, though, is it's like someone said to me, this lady of African ancestry. Then I look at it at the same time by saying, yes, this lady of African ancestry is the leader of a political party. Should she be seen, or she will be seen as everything that she does should sort of be beholden into cultural issues, race issues of African, or she should look out for the policy of the Conservative Party, looking out for the United Kingdom or so, or that's the line, isn't it, Milverton Hyde? That's a line. That's the thin line sometimes between somebody they said, okay, they'll say like David Lammy, and the way how he's not really advocating for that young boy that young man who is in I think in Dubai, that somehow had sex with his girlfriend and he was being locked up there. I think they're trying to put some more pressure there. They're saying that he's not doing that much. It is like when Barack Obama was the president. They said it's a black man and he didn't do that much. But then somebody pointed out and said, well, Donald Trump has come in with his pen and doing so much. That means that Barack Obama could have done all of those things. So it's a whole thing about the person in the political sphere of being a leader of a political party, or what should take precedence, their position as the leader of a political party or their race, especially when it comes on to immigration.
I know. I mean, it just looks like it's rather messy as far as I'm concerned.
I'm sorry?
It sounds and it looks rather messy.
Yes. So I just say, let me see what I say. That Kemi is the mouthpiece of a Tory. As leader, she has to put the party first. There it is. She's the mouthpiece of the Conservative Party. As the leader, she has to put the party first. So therefore, that's it. It's if it was another person who was the leader, like Robert Jenrick, maybe he would have come out a bit harder, if anything like that, And then everybody would say, well, he's white, so obviously he's racist. You know what I'm trying to say? But we watch and see how that outplays this whole policy, because it's going to create a lot of stink. I'm seeing lots of videos which are going up already, podcasts by different persons to say this woman, that's what I call it, this woman, based on this particular policy as well. But you see, it's like it's feeding into the whole thing with reform. It's like trying to upstage reform, because Nigel Farage is coming at this and saying, you guys, immigration, and then all these people are moving towards Nigel Farage. 190,000 persons apparently now is his members in the party. And the last poll, I don't know, they said the YouGov polls put reform ahead for the first time. 25%, up 11%. 24% is Labour, down 10%. 21% next. Conservative Party down 3%. So therefore, if an election is called, chances are reform would be going scot-free into some serious areas. And that is why Nigel Farage is a bit unhappy because of the recent announcement that there's not going to be some local government elections to sort of give an idea. They say the Conservative and the Labour Party has connived together to this whole thing, you know. So it's a very interesting days ahead in regards to the UK and what is happening. Because you want to see if the Conservative will stand and do, or they are going to be whipped up by reform, and reform is going to be there, being the one that goes in and try to, you know, wag the dog, tail that wags the dog, be the tail. Yeah, that's my perspective, Garry. It's another week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and another week has gone by, man. Another week has gone by. And
Another
another week is coming, and we just don't know what's going to be happening in this week. Let's hope that something happens, you know.
Yes. Yeah, lots of different developments out there, you know, because we're seeing the world aspect of the USAID, we're seeing the aspect with the Elon Musk, we're seeing the Democrats going crazy, we're seeing countries having fallout because of the fact that they don't have the USAID money. That money has gone down the drain, but not gone down the drain, it has been paused for 90 months. And then, of course, we're going to see the whole aspect of TikTok. What's going to be with TikTok? That's going to come up soon. 90 days is going to come soon, is what? Almost nearly 30 days already. Since Trump in 20th of this, you know, of January. Garry, listen, have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic evening. Those on Instagram, thank you so much for joining as well. Those joining me on TikTok, UIC, thank you so much for joining. I have no discussion. Actually, I didn't talk about Jamaica today regarding what's going on in Jamaica. The only thing I'll say about Jamaica is that Jamaica just need to really sort themselves out and really be self-sufficient, and don't feel like you need to be hanging out begging America, Massa, Uncle Sam, anything. Jamaica need to really hold their own as much as possible. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night, and may God bless you, and peace out. Yeah, man.